DeAndre Hopkins breaks his silence and criticizes John Harbaugh's final strategy. The player claims it broke trust. The missed 44-yard field goal attempt by kicker Tyler Loop against the Pittsburgh Steelers left a deep impact among players, as it eliminated their chances of advancing to the postseason and abruptly ended their aspirations for a championship run that had built throughout the year. Many have suggested that this decision ultimately cost John Harbaugh his job, but it has been clarified that it was not solely that moment, but rather a series of decisions made in the closing quarters of games that resulted in painful losses for the team. On this matter, DeAndre Hopkins stepped forward to share his version of events regarding Harbaugh's decision-making, which has now led to the coach's departure from Baltimore and his new role leading the New York Giants organization. DeAndre Hopkins comments on that particular decision by John Harbaugh. Missing out on the postseason is always painful, but it becomes even more difficult when the loss comes against a hated divisional rival. At Acrisure Stadium, the home team emerged victorious and left the Ravens without answers in a crucial moment. With that context, the last-minute decision to send the kicker for a field goal attempt instead of securing another set of downs was not the best option from Hopkins' perspective and the way he interpreted what unfolded late in the contest. That was probably the hottest I've seen a locker room in a while. Me and Derek were just looking at each other like, did that really just happen? I didn't think it was real for a second. I thought I was still dreaming. I was like, ain't no way he missed that. But, he human. But yeah, it was hot though. DeAndre Hopkins said in a video shared by Blitz the Gridiron. He also made it clear that the players were not pleased with the coach's decision in that defining moment. We felt as players that we should have just kept handing the ball off to Derek and let him try to go score, DeAndre Hopkins said. Really, it shouldn't have gotten down to depending on Tyler Loop to kick a 40-yarder. As players, we felt like we should have just kept handing the ball off to Derek and let him try to go score, DeAndre Hopkins said. Us as players, we feel like they didn't trust us to go score. From Hopkins' point of view, the team played too conservatively. They avoided taking risks and opted for the safer route, which ultimately cost them the game and the chance to compete for a spot in Super Bowl LX. John Harbaugh departs the Baltimore Ravens. John Harbaugh spent 18 years leading the Ravens, but that tenure came to an end after the 2025 season, when the organization decided it was time for a change and parted ways with the longtime head coach. Much has been said about the decision to attempt the field goal, but what is known is that even if that kick had been successful, Harbaugh's fate had already been determined by the franchise. Poor postseason results in recent years had left the front office dissatisfied. For that reason, regardless of the outcome in that game, his final destination had already been decided well before the closing moments unfolded.